A Girl Who Brought Down the World by Vivian G. Chapter 14, Hero. Christopher phones his old grade school friend for advice.
Hello, this is Christopher Winfield Vega. Am I speaking to Philip Gonzalo?
Christopher, man, you've been doing some crazy shit. Why the hell would you want to call me? Asked Philip.
You were always good with the ladies. I need your help.
I have better things to do than to help you. God damn it, man.
If you don't help me, I will be forced to bomb your city.
Christopher threatens. Chill, man. We're still buddies. You wouldn't do that to an old pal, would you? Philip reasons.
Of course not. So, do you have any advice on the ladies for me?
Well, what kind of advice?
It is
Christopher pauses for a bit.
my first time with a girl.
How in the hell did you... Never mind. So, it's your first time, and you want to know what exactly?
How did your first time go?
Christopher asks. After the phone call with Christopher ends, Philip stares at the ceiling for a few minutes. He has watched the old grade school weirdo turn into this monster. He couldn't believe that he called for something as pathetic as sex advice. Not to mention the fact that he's going to have sex with something. He stops thinking about it and goes off to sleep. He dreams about his days with Christopher. He begins to dream about grade school.
Hello, my name is Philip. My name is Christopher.
He enthusiastically responds as he shakes hands with him.
I wonder why my friends put me up to this.
He wonders as he continues to shake hands.
So, Christopher, do you want to hang out sometime? Sure. What will we do? We could play some video games. Video games? I love video games. I love Master Monster Slaves and Hyper Magician Robots. Those are my favorite series of all time. They are my heroes. I love Robotron and his punching moves. They're my favorite.
Christopher continues on for a few more minutes.
Sure. Come over to my house tomorrow.
The dream changes to them at his house. Christopher is playing Hyper Magician Robots, Indigo, with Philip. Christopher begins to cry as he loses.
Hey, it's just a game,
says Philip.
Why do you always win? I am so good at this game. Well, I guess I am better,
Philip boasts.
Impossible! I spent hours on this game every day,
shouts Christopher.
Let's do something else. Let's watch some television. Fine!
Christopher pouts. The dream changes to high school where Christopher sees Philip and his girlfriend making out.
Hey, Philip!
Christopher shouts from across the hall. The couple breaks off the kiss and Philip's girlfriend hurries away when Christopher approaches. What's up, Christopher? Philip announces.
I was watching you tongue wrestle with that girl. How did you get a girlfriend?
I don't know, man. I'm just pretty good with the ladies. Philip shrugs.
How do you know when to move in for the kiss? Have you two rocked the boat yet? Will you get married?
Christopher continues to bombard him with questions. I never see you out with any girl. You should at least try to be friends with some, Philip suggests.
I do, but they all have boyfriends,
Christopher complains. Well, keep trying. The dream changes to him writing an email to him. Christopher, look, I'll set you up with a girl. She's completely real. Just stop emailing me and she'll be at your doorstep in no time. Yours, Philip. Philip wakes up with a start. Christ, why is Christopher still alive? There's no way he's president. He gets up and turns on the television to see Christopher giving another announcement with his pieces of paper. He immediately turns it off. He wonders if Christopher ever understood the meaning of the last message he sent. A girl never did show up at his doorstep. Vivian wakes up after being knocked out. She finds herself in a bed under some blankets. She realizes she's wearing no clothes. All around her, music is being played. It annoys her to no end. To the left, she sees a cabinet with some candles on it. To To the right, she finds her clothes stacked neatly on top of another cabinet. She attempts to make a move for her clothes, but her leg is still in too much pain. She decides to wait for Christopher or the janitor to help her out. A few minutes pass and no one has entered the room.
Hello, Vivian.
A squeaky voice is heard coming from the open door.
I hope you are comfortable.
I'd be more comfortable if I had some clothes on, she replies.
You don't need clothes for what's coming up next.
Christopher enters the door shirtless and does an excruciatingly slow walk over to the bed. He puts one arm around Vivian and slowly moves his fingers up her shoulder. Vivian's face twitches uncontrollably, her mouth slightly agape while her mind slowly washes over in a complete daze. Her eyes slowly make her way over to Christopher, who is attempting to kiss her. She immediately slaps him.
Ow! That hurt!
Christopher whined. What are you doing? Vivian shouts.
I am clearing the curse of virginity from my body.
Why me? Shouldn't you have saved that for Melanie?
My hormones are raging and I cannot stand it,
he proclaims. Well, she pauses, attempting to think of a way out of this. You could at least pull off a better entrance.
Was that not sexy enough for you?
He asks. No, that wasn't sexy in the least. I am not ready for this at all until you do a proper entrance. Christopher exits the room and enters again. This time, he shows off his backside to Vivian while slowly making his way over. Vivian looks away in horror.
What was wrong that time?
Christopher asked. It just wasn't good.
Can't we just start already?
No! If I don't feel ready to do this, then why should we start?
My hormones need taming,
he complains. That's not an excuse.
Okay, Vivian. Okay, let me make a phone call.
Christopher heads outside and makes another phone call to Philip.
Philip, this is Christopher Winfield Vega. I need some advice.
What do you need, man? Asks Philip.
So, I have this girl who I want to do some wrestling under the bed with, and she refuses to let me have her right with her,
he complains. You can't force these things to happen.
You seem to be able to do it.
That's because I'm smooth and welcoming to the ladies. If you don't have those qualities, then there's no way you'll ever get laid.
I really want this badly, though. I've been waiting my entire adult life for this night, and she is stopping me from accomplishing my dream.
You're being selfish. You have to think about the girl as well.
She's a terrorist, though. It's okay if she's a terrorist,
Christopher reasons. Wait, who is this girl? Philip asks.
She was formerly one of the terrorist four. Her name is Vivian.
What? I don't even think she's legal age, Philip exclaims.
I changed the law.
Still, that's terrible to do to a girl that age.
She's still a terrorist.
Christopher, as your friend, I want you to call it off. Please don't do this. Christopher hangs up the phone in frustration. So much for a friend, he thinks. He decides to pursue his goal anyway. He goes into the room where Vivian has fallen asleep and violently wakes her up. What? Ooh! Shrieks Vivian as she wakes.
Let's go, now,
Christopher demands. No, we can't, she begs.
You can't stop me,
he shouts as he begins to take away the blankets covering her. I'm a lesbian, she shouts. Christopher immediately stops. He pauses for a moment and heads out the door. He soon comes back in holding a picture of Psychic Rabichoso.
Vivian, you know it's not right to be gay. I want you to be straight. Repeat after me. Stay straight.
Stay straight, she mumbles.
Say it louder.
Stay straight, she mumbles.
Louder!
Stay straight! She screams right into the paper. The picture of Psychic Rabichoso floats up a bit and then comes back down.
Now, are you ready to help Christopher with his goal?
No. Christopher tears up the picture of Psychic Rabichoso in frustration.
Why don't you do this with me? I will force you to.
Vivian fights off Christopher, who keeps trying to get in close enough. She uses her one good leg to land a square kick into Christopher's crotch. He falls down to the floor in pain. Vivian takes this opportunity to slowly move herself off the bed and assassinate Christopher. The janitor hears loud grunting noises coming from outside the door and just puts headphones on and walks away from the scene. Vivian manages to land on top of him and begins to choke him. Her tiny hands can't reach around Christopher's meaty neck. She decides instead to go for his eyes and attempts to blind him. Christopher defends himself by smacking Vivian across the face and knocking her over to the side. Vivian attempts to get her bad leg to move, but it is of no use. She can only squirm backwards and soon hits the wall. Desperate, she attempts one more kick to stun him once more, but this time it fails. She begins to breathe heavily, and her mind slowly shuts down. Christopher slowly moves closer to her.
I will have my way with you,
he says ominously. Vivian spits in his face as he readies himself. Christopher ignores it and decides once more to move in for a kiss, when Vivian decides to jab her fingers right into Christopher's left eye. He screams out in pain as Vivian pulls out a battered eyeball. She attempts to go for the other eyeball, but Christopher starts to run out of the room and leaves, shrieking in pain. Vivian lifts herself onto the bed and makes it to the other side of the room. She knocks over the cabinet and takes her clothes. She begins to dress herself and slowly makes her way across the hall and down into the basement where her wheelchair was left. She gets into it and spots Jones, who is sleeping. She waits patiently for her punishment. Philip stares at the television, waiting for an announcement to come on. He has been staring at the screen for hours after the second phone call from Christopher. The screen still remains pitch black as he continues to stare. Inside, he fears for the girl who is potentially being abused by Christopher. Inside, he fears for a country that has fallen into ruin. Inside, he fears Christopher.
Hello, my name is Rabichoso, the Vice President of the United States.
Christopher announces from off-screen.
The President will be on a short vacation, and while he's gone, I will be in charge of the United States. My first act will be to officially fire Secretary of Dating, Sergei Rabichoso. He has failed to do his duty, and I'm making sure everyone in the country stayed straight. My second act will call for an increased reward for the capture of Miles, Mimi, and kids. If you can bring them back alive with Melanie and Shayna and Tola as well, you will become the next president of the United States. That is all.
Philip continues to stare at the screen after the announcement has finished. He can only wonder what truly goes on in Christopher's office, and can only pray for the best.